Hello and welcome back to the Hats We Wear. I'm pleased to join Monique Derouen for my podcast today. She's going to talk about the hats she wears and the joys and struggles and how she navigates through those hats. So thank you, Monique, for joining me today.
Yeah, Beth, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me what hats you're wearing right now.
Oh goodness, there's a list right now. I mean, I think there always has been. I I became an entrepreneur very young. Went to hair school right out of high school and bought a salon at 19 years old and have been in the spa industry for over 25 years now. Uh,
Okay.
So lots of transitions through that. But right now, I am multi-licensed in so many things. And then, of course, there's life. So
Hmm?
I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I work with clients across the world on the computer doing mind body coaching and helping them with nervous system regulation.
Oh,
I
wow.
also work with entrepreneurs, teaching them how to save their bodies and potentially make more money and not get burned out. I'm also a massage therapist, craniosacral therapist. I have a retreat center. I own Airbnbs
Oh my
and
gosh.
yes, so
I can't get over
so
it.
many different things, right? Um,
Holy moly. Okay.
yeah, and I
How in the world do you navigate all that? I can't wait to hear. Holy crud.
Yeah, it's really interesting. When I say it out loud, I'm kind of like, "Ooh, that's a lot." But what's fascinating is that I've always done a lot. I was a mom very young. At 17, I was a mother. I was married at 18. I owned a business at 19. Um, and just kind of became the one that figured it out. But I used to figure it out from pressure and white knuckle and struggle and, really really that anxiety ridden space. Had years of chronic pain and anxiety and different treatments and medications and things like that we tried. And I'm going to say in around 2016, I completely changed my outlook on everything. I went a completely holistic route. I started really diving into well-being, the yoga off the mat, just like living out in the world in presence, doing breath work, things like that. And was introduced to someone pretty amazing through one of my trainings, who has been my mentor now for many, many years. And has a very similar story to me. Same thing, very young mom, grew up in poverty, a salon owner, massage therapist, a lot of the same licenses and stuff. And I've worked with her for several years now. And one of the things that she has taught me was to not worry about tomorrow and not focus on the anger from yesterday, but truly be in this moment right now. And so it's beautiful. I'm very disciplined. I wasn't disciplined before. I thought discipline was a dirty word. It was like this crazy thing. But I have a morning routine. I get up, I do things every single day in a certain order, and I plug in what my priorities are. And I learned recently that if everything's a priority, nothing's actually a priority. So
Mm,
really being able to separate, what
yeah.
is the fire today? What's really important today? And then over the years, I've been able to hire staff and, delegate things differently. But for a long time, I didn't have the financial support to do that. I didn't have the ability to do that. So I did it all. So I learned years ago, you pay with time or you pay with money. So for a long time, I paid with time until I
Wow.
figured out how to do it differently. And I really can't credit my mentor and the program that she does enough. It's truly been the game changer for me, and the desire for me to want more,
You
with
want
it.
to plug that program, you're more than happy. I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working with Kim Guillory. She's an integrative mind body trainer and business coach. And she's from the pits of Louisiana, just like I was, and has had a very successful business in the middle of nowhere for over 30 years, and really has a lot of insight on things. Just brilliant, the way she works, and the ability to help me understand, and not just understand, but hold me accountable and help me integrate and learn
Mm,
to embody all the things that I knew and were out there,
yeah.
wasn't necessarily living, right? And so really simple ways to do things. Like I said, I have a morning routine. I get up really early before everybody else does, and I take care of me first.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time noon comes, I'm not ready to pull my hair out anymore.
Yeah.
It's
A couple things you said resonate with me. I think a lot of times we see maybe the way things are supposed to be done. Like we know intuitively, like I really should be doing this, but you just don't know how to get there. You need someone to help you. And in 2016, is this when you found Kim? Because you said that was when you went the whole holistic way. Is
you
that
know,
the time you
it
found her?
that was the year that we met, but right before we had met, 2015, I had my last surgery, and I swore I would never have an elective thing pulled out of my body again for the sake of discovery or trying to figure out what was going on. I had had 12 surgeries between 2007 and 2015,
Wow.
um, at least a dozen, and was on 9 prescription daily meds. And I remember like looking at my kids and thinking, it doesn't even matter if they take a shower tonight or if we go to school tomorrow or like I was so numb
Yeah.
and depressed. And uh the medicine kept me alive. It kept me afloat, which I'm very grateful for because I don't know where I would have been without it.
Right.
But it was not the way that I wanted to live anymore. And I realized that I had no confidence. I was struggling with my weight. I was anxiety ridden. I had a glass of wine or five every night just to relax. And I wasn't living the way I wanted to live. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like going to yoga and I was, doing the gym and things like that. But it was never like, it never felt good.
Yeah.
I never went because I wanted to go. I went because if I didn't go, I was scared I was gonna gain another 30 pounds or, that I don't know. It was really a struggle around that time. We had
Yeah.
a lot of grief in the family. We had lost both of our fathers and just really a lot of heaviness that I was feeling those last few years around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I was going to, I had started using essential oils and I had decided I was going to get a holistic certification. And so I had started working on those things and
Mm-hmm.
then went into a practice, went to school to gain another license because I kept thinking, if I just change my career, I'll be happy. If I just change, I was trying to change
Mm-hmm.
the external things, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Knowing that it was an internal change. And I met Kim at school and we hit it off right away. We were both doTERRA advocates. We were both into chakras and natural healing, holistic stuff. And we started talking and a lot of things we said really mirrored each other. And so I really started falling in love with the nervous system in school. My teacher was brilliant. She actually wrote the massage therapy books. I was very fortunate to sit on the front row of her class for the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. And she talks a lot about the brain and the nervous system. And I am a knowledge junkie. So I just kind of went into that and really started looking at like somatics and craniosacral therapy and anything that I could do to regulate this unregulated body that I was in and
Yeah.
really begin to fall in love with the skin suit that I was wearing again. And that was just the beginning, of it. And around 2018, I actually hired Kim. I didn't even know what I was hiring her for. I just said I need help, and I think you're the person that can help me. I trust you to lead me in the right space or guide me. And so she took me on, and it was quite a project, I'm sure for her. We have many talks about it where we laugh about how difficult I was because I was very white knuckled, strong
Yeah.
minded, and as a survivor. So,
Yeah.
but I was started surviving. I didn't want to survive anymore. I wanted to really do things differently. So just started plugging in all the different years of knowledge, training, certifications, and again living it, not just knowing it, which is what I hadn't learned to do. So that was a big part of what she helped me with.
And I think what's important to note is that number one, what I'm hearing from you is that you recognize that it wasn't working for you anymore. Whatever you were doing just wasn't working and you wanted to change. And you started to take action towards that change, even though it wasn't necessarily you were getting another certification, but that certification served you. So it's not like it was a waste. Yes, you needed to do the work within, but that certification was an important thing for you to do. So I want the listeners to understand that number one, you got to recognize that you're done. Like, I can't do this anymore. That's the very first step. And then take action towards what you want. And then you found her. You weren't ready necessarily at that time to work with her, but then you were after a certain amount of time. So I think it's beautiful the way it unfolded, because your energy changed. Your energy started to change once you started to delve into what you really wanted. And I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so how did all that then, how did that lead to retreat center and the Airbnb and massage therapist and all the hats that you're wearing right now? How did that journey lead you to this? Because it really was only a few years ago. When you
Right,
think
right,
about it, 2018, you started working with Kim. It's only 2023, you know?
right. So I think we're almost 6 years together, something like that, of working together. But again, I was in the spa industry from the time I was right out of high school. I was a hairdresser. And let me back up a little bit. I was in a corporate multi-million dollar spa as their spa trainer and lead for about 12 years.
Okay.
So they actually just kept giving me more continued education, more licensure. I became a barber. I did nail tech. I did esthetician. I went to massage therapy school while I was at that career as well. So just kind of kept adding up my licenses. And then there was a point where I could basically run an entire spa alone, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
And so I took in the new hires, I worked with them, got them qualified to go onto the floor and work with our luxury clients, because it was kind of a big deal to be in that spot and work. It was a great area. But corporate wasn't for me. And in 2016, we came to the town that I live in right now. And we had a friend that had just cured his cancer naturally. And we came here with this couple friends of ours, and I walked out of the grocery store and I looked at my husband and I said, I could live here. Now, my husband lived in Colorado years before we met. I lived in Austin, and he's wanted to come back from the time we started dating. We've been together 19 years almost
Mm-hmm.
here. And so he's been waiting and dying for me to say the moment where I'm like, let's move to Colorado. But I was waiting till the kids were older and they were graduated school, and we kind of had this limited way of thinking. And he said, start packing. And I said, okay. So I was in school already at the time. I was almost probably done with my licensure at that point. I went back to the spa and I told everybody, I said, I'm going to Colorado. We're going to move to Colorado. And I started really writing out and journaling out what I wanted. I
Mm.
wanted to open an Airbnb. I wanted to have a retreat center where my clients could come stay with me, right? Because I had 20 something years in Louisiana working in spas. I had clients there. And so I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I want y'all to come stay at my house, get some massage, hang out at the hot springs with me. So that was kind of the beginning of the idea. And so I started talking about it. The more I talked about it, the more I thought I could really do this. And my best friend of many years says, Monique, you're one person that every time you say you're going to do something, you do it. I believe you. I believe you're going to go do this. And I said, okay. So I wrote out this whole plan in school, didn't even realize it. A couple years ago, I opened it up. I found it in my email. I'd never opened it. It was actually a
Oh,
business plan, and it was almost verbatim what I'm doing right now.
wow.
So I had actually scripted it out. I journaled it out. I talked about it. I actually brought it into fruition
Yeah. You
through
manifested it.
yeah, I
You
manifested.
manifested it.
And, when we got here, it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize all of my stuff came with me. I thought I was going to leave it in Louisiana when I left Louisiana. And
Yeah.
that's really when I reached out to Kim and said, okay, I know what I know, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing something right. And I know I need some support, right? And so she started saying, well, what was your plan? What did you want to do? What were you going there for? And we really got specific with what I was doing and mapped it out, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and and I was kind of on my own. I had a spa in town here in Glenwood and worked at some other places for a few years. But in 2020, everything kind of shut down for a bit,
Yeah.
and our area went pretty much to purple, where there wasn't much of anything open except for, gas stations and food.
Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah. So our building was selling that my spa was in. The hair salon that I worked at above my spa was closing as well, because the building was selling. And we had been looking for the perfect piece of property. And we pulled up to this land. And when we pulled up, I said, write it up. This is ours. And she said, "Oh, you really need to see the inside. It's some 20-year-old boys have been renting it for years. It's pretty rough." And I said, "Yeah, but we're from Louisiana. We're not scared of a little challenge and putting things back together. Like I lived in Hurricane Central, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
we're up for the challenge." And my husband looked at me and he said, "This property deserves new owners." And I
Mm.
said, "You're right." And so
Um,
we fell in love with it. We went through all kinds of crazy stuff to get it. That's a long drawn out story on itself. The loan kept falling in and out, and with my income being shut off because I was a massage therapist and I wasn't able to
mm,
work.
yeah,
Anyways, lots of drama.
yeah.
Um, but at the end, the realtor said, "The gods are in your favor because there's no way that you should have got this." And I said, "But there was because I wrote about this in 2016." And when we pulled up, I remember the view that I had in my mind was the view on the property. That's why I said, "This is it. We don't
Oh
even
my
need to."
gosh, I'm getting chills right now. That's amazing. Now, let me ask you, I'm gonna interrupt for 1 second because while you were going through all that hard time, were you always like, no, I know this is gonna work because you had seen it already? Or were you like, oh no, what's gonna happen? How did you navigate those feelings of,
Yeah,
oh, it didn't work through, it didn't work again?
for sure. I mean, there was a moment where my husband was really frustrated with everything. And he's like, "If we don't get this property," and I said, "Do you trust me?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "No, no, no. Do you trust me?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "I need you to stop talking like that because
Mm,
I've got to focus on what I know we can do." And
okay.
he said, "Cool." He backed away. He never brought it up again. And I went headfirst in. I know what I know. I know what we've done. I know what we're capable of. I believe in the potential that's out there to get us here. Right. And I had already done so much of this work, this mind body connection, understanding integrative stuff, understanding the law of attraction, law of assumption, all of those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And so I needed to remove his human belief out of the picture.
Yeah.
And luckily it was a really short conversation and he was like, "Okay." I said, have I ever let you down? Have I ever not done something that I said we were going to do?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Shh, I need you to stop then." And it was lovely. And I said, "I am going to find out what the next step is." And so I called the mortgage people up and I said, "What do we do?" And she's like, "Oh, there's like one person in town that can help you, but it's a long shot." And I said, "Give me his name and number." And
Mhm.
I remember my mom saying, "Monique, what are you gonna do? Go walk in there and bring him a bowl of gumbo?" And I said, "Yeah,
If it works.
I I would."
Yeah.
And we called this guy up and he said, "Yeah, I can write you the loan." And it was done. I mean, within a few weeks, he had everything together and came through the way we wanted to. And here we are. So, um,
And it's
but
just
I,
more evidence. I bet it was evidence to your husband too, like, okay, this works. Like when you just put your hands up in trust and do the work that's coming that because it'll come in. The information will come in. It's whether you listen.
right, right.
So you were able to listen and say, okay, I'm gonna call, or I'm getting a feeling I need to call this person. Okay, let me call that person and see
Yeah.
then where do I go? And not knowing what the map was. You didn't know, but you
No
followed
idea.
your intuition. And I just interviewed someone at 9:30 today talking exactly about what you and I are talking about again. So these are going to be back-to-back podcast conversations about intuition. And I think a lot of people need to hear this right now. And they're so scared and fear. Your husband was just responding and reacting out of fear
Right.
because the fear of the unknown. That's all it was. And that's what a lot of people are facing right now, the fear of the unknown. And so I think you and the other guests that I had are speaking to the same thing for a reason. So I want my listeners to really pay attention to how important it is to trust your intuition.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, up until, I mean, I'm really going to say until about 2018, I was extremely conditioned.
Mhm.
Even though I knew that we created things, even though I knew that I attracted things or I had the potential to do things differently, I was still very conditioned from a human living side, right?
Yeah.
Where this is the way you act, this is the way you behave, this is what you do. And I'm going to say probably in 2015 again when I decided I was not going to have any more surgeries. I was done with all the medical stuff that was just like it was too much for my body. Um, I said, I wonder if I can go this year without using my insurance. I wonder. I wonder if I can go this year without taking medicine, without using my insurance, without, all the things. And so I actually just like dropped my insurance. Crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
someone who was so sick, I just dropped my
Yeah.
insurance. And I was like, what is my body going to do? And I really went again with that holistic route, with that naturopath route, with essential oils. And I am not recommending that everybody do this by any means. This is not what I'm
Perfectly
saying this
said.
for.
Yep.
I
It
mean, this is
depends on the person. Yep.
not a recommendation. I am not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying that something in me knew that it was time to do life differently. And I knew if I did not go all in, I would never get there.
Hmm.
So it
Very
was kind of all or
important, very important disclaimer that we're not recommending that you drop your insurance or
nothing.
do anything. This is just what worked for Monique.
Yeah.
Um, Perfect. How did, I'm interested in the conflict of hats. How did all this business entrepreneurship interfere with being a mom and being a wife and all the other hats that you wore
Yeah.
or are wearing? What's the conflict and how did you handle that?
So one of the most difficult things was when we got here. Yeah, our children are older; they're in their 20s now. But when we got here, they came up on vacation, and then they were like, "We're coming to move up there too." So we're in a camper, and they want to come up. So we bought another camper, put them next door
Hmm.
in the campground. But then now I'm responsible for them again, kind of because they're in the area because that's what moms do. Um, So when we bought the property here, one of the biggest conflicts was I was trying to run the Airbnb, the vacation rental. We have 3 properties in Louisiana that we still own as well,
Hmm.
and build the business here from the ground up. So doing the mind body connection, the massage, the cranio, the nervous system resets. Um, and when I was in the salon, I had probably 60 things on my menu, right? So everything from brow waxes to body contouring to massage. I was doing yoga. And I was challenged to pick 3 things that I was really good at and cut my entire menu off.
Okay.
That was one of the things Kim challenged me to do. She
Yeah.
said, "You're in too many spaces,
Yeah.
scattered, and you can't make the consistent money you want to make to build the life you want to build if you don't have what's the one thing you're really good at?" And I said, "I'm really good at nervous system regulation because that's my private story. That's my life, right? I went from anxiety-ridden medications to just being able to live with ease. So I know I'm really good at that. I'm really good at this one technique in the hair salon, right? Like so like a cut and highlight. Like I'm really good at highlights and cuts, right? So I'll pull that. And then what else did I want? I was really working with people who were dealing with body image, right? So I went with one type of body contouring. And so I'm just going to sell these 3 things. And then COVID hit like not long after. So it kind of wiped it out. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I asked all of my massage clients and my clients that were dealing with body issues and anxiety and nervous system stuff if I could put you on the computer and still support you while you can't come into the office, would you want to try it? And they were really confused. They didn't know what I was talking about. But I had already done this with a few clients because I had some clients in Louisiana I was working with already.
Hmm.
And I knew it worked. And so they said, well, we'll give it a shot. Well, those clients became mind body clients. And so I started helping them regulate their nervous system, teaching them different techniques that they could do. We met every week for an hour on the computer. They could talk to me during the week and get support.
Yeah.
And it became my new program.
Yeah.
And so when everything opened back up, I stayed online.
Yeah.
This last year, I started seeing people back in person again. And it's only with a specific plan, it's only with a specific thing because I don't want to give you one massage and then send you on your way and hope that you feel better for life. Like, I want to set you up for success.
Yeah.
And so I work with people in a package. So they do so many sessions with me. They
Hmm.
learn things, they have tools, they go on, right? So I cut the menu. When I got here, it was the battle between the mind body coaching and the Airbnb because we were slammed the first 2 years we opened up. I mean, we were just It was crazy. And so I was doing the cleaning, I was doing the calendar, I was doing the financial side of things, I was doing all of the admin work, like making sure our licenses were up to date and our insurance was good, and finding new insurance when our insurance wanted to drop us, and all of
Crazy.
these things. Yeah. So I've now hired a property manager that helps me with the
Art.
Airbnb.
There you
And
go.
have an amazing girl who does cleaning for me, and she does all eco-friendly, so no chemicals on the property.
Hmm.
Because we are partially off grid too, and we're at 8,500 feet elevation in the mountains, so we get big snow. We have bobcats and bears and moose in our yard. Like, so there's a lot going on here, right? Um, but I found the time to delegate the responsibilities.
Hmm.
I pulled out what I'm really good at. I am a genius at what I do.
Hmm.
I'm really good at helping people create that work-life balance because I know where it comes from and I know how to do it. And so I'm going to delegate responsibility to the things that I'm not a genius at. Like I can clean a house, but I don't love it. But
Yeah.
she does, right? Like she loves it.
Yeah.
And so it's like so nice to be able to have her come in, clean the Airbnb, and then now this money ripples out into her family and back into the community and things like
Yes,
that.
that's
Yeah.
so resonating with me, Monique, because I was working with one of my clients and she was feeling guilty because her house was a mess. So we talked about priorities and what's important to you. And she, explained what was important to her. And I said, well, then hire someone to clean your house. I said, there are people that's what they do for a living. So
Yeah.
you are helping, you are giving someone money to do what they love to do. So kind of change the mindset of, oh, I should be able to do this, to no, this is someone else's job and they love doing it and I'm helping them by giving them money. So I absolutely love that you mentioned that, because that's important, to delegate the things that you don't really find joy in doing, and that's okay.
Right. And here's what's crazy is that my mind was trying to rationalize the money that I was going to pay her, right? Like, oh, that's going to be really expensive. And where does this come from? But the beauty is now I can have more rentals booked,
Mm,
and I can pay her.
yeah.
Right. So it's like when I stepped back and did what I'm really good at, when I put my focus and energy on what really matters in my life, which
Hmm.
is my family and my business and my clients, then the properties get run by somebody else. And that's just it's cohesive. It makes so much sense to me now.
Yeah, because you're in alignment.
Yeah.
Your energy is in alignment. And you said something and I wrote it down and I circled it. Yoga off the mat. I absolutely love that phrase. And it just has such a great connotation that you're living yoga off the mat, because you think, yeah, yoga is you're calm and you're stretching and you're strengthening, and but it should apply to all parts of your life, not just on the mat. So I don't even know if you realize that you said that, but that should be like, I don't know, a tagline or something for you, that you're living yoga off the mat, because I absolutely love that. I almost hesitate to ask you, are there any hats that you're looking to put on? Anything that you want to try? And I'm really
So,
hesitant to ask because you've got enough on your plate.
so what's interesting is that every once in a while we just revamp my business and I do something a little different. So I am taking on some new roles. I am working closer with my mentors and our team.
Mhm.
We have a membership now that is for the public. But if you're a healing focused entrepreneur, especially busy entrepreneur, somebody that's wearing a lot of hats, and you need support and to practice using some of these techniques that maybe you haven't quite um, learned to embody yet,
Mhm.
we have a membership, that is specifically about that. We have weekly calls, we have community. Sometimes we have live events together, but it is designed to bring people together to practice
Mhm.
new way of living, right? And I started out there as a client. It's been an amazing journey for me. Now I'm mentoring there, and we have lots of new coaches coming in that just graduated. So we'll be growing and expanding that. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And I am going to start working specifically more with those entrepreneurs that are struggling in their businesses or not generating the income they need, or um, you know, having problems getting quality leads, or just the business in itself, because there's a difference in your skill set and running a business.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the thing I did not have an awareness of. I thought because I was a really great hairdresser, I was a really great massage therapist, I was a really great esthetician, yoga teacher, whatever, that I just it should be easy. It should come easy. But I didn't realize all of the background stuff, the tech, the admin, the licensures, the legal stuff that was going on in the background. And again, wasn't really my brilliance, wasn't really what I wanted to do. So, um, working with some of these programs Kim's created, she has personal um, things like we have with the membership. She has business focused areas where you can come on and do an online school and learn the basics of how to run your business. And then she has trainings like, so if you want to be a coach, you want to do what I want to do, you want to grow your business in a different level, there's that. So I've actually been through all of those programs. So
Hmm.
I'll be plugging in with her and really helping in those areas moving forward. So anybody that's in business, anybody that's wearing multiple hats and really is struggling, I invite you to connect with me and
Oh,
reach out.
that's
So,
perfect segue. How can they connect with you? Where can
yeah,
they find you?
yeah. All my social media is under Monique the Mind Body Coach. I'm on YouTube. I've got a free YouTube channel, talks a lot about nervous system regulation, got movement videos, stretches, things like that for the physical body.
Hmm.
TikTok, Instagram, Monique the Mind Body Coach, Facebook, Monique the Mind Body Coach. I'm on all platforms at this point.
Okay.
And you can probably just Google me as well, Monique Derouen or Monique the Mind Body Coach, and
Okay.
pull. I'm in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody about where they're at in life or their business if they just need some support or that next step to really change things. And like you said, when you're done, and you really connect with the people you need to connect with. I truly believe that whoever is supposed to find me will find me. But if you are sitting on the edge of, I'm not sure what to do, or I'm ready to pull my hair out, I'm done, I don't know what to do, I remember being there, and it's not fun.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Yep. Yep. It's scary. It's really scary to take that jump, but it's really freeing in the end. I always tell my clients, you're going to feel worse before you feel better, but you right around the corner is that transformation from the discomfort. So thank you so much. I'll make sure I put links in the show notes too, so that
okay,
people can find you easily. So thank you so much, Monique, for joining me today. I really enjoyed speaking with you, and I wish you much success and balance, keep continued balance for you with all your hats. So thank you so much.
thanks, Beth.
And to my listeners, thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to the next episode of The Hats We Wear. I'll see you then.